Now, if you've been keeping up here, it's been a big month or two for fans of KAI International brand of knives and people who like this channel. Now, conversely, it's been a not good month if you hate one or the other of those things. And it's just been absolutely miserable if you hate me and KAI both. Is that how you say it? Is it Kai or is it KAI? I don't know. Probably KAI seems a little clunky. It's probably the hip knife guys who spend their times on the forum know a better way. So today's flavor of the month, or two, are two new for January 2025 button lock releases from the company. Now, I got a hold of these after the auto review I did. I actually finished that video on time on the release date. Of course, I'm still like 2, 3, 4 weeks later than all the other people who got them, and you know, that's on me. Although we got one Kershaw and one Zero Tolerance button lock. How do they compare? How do they contrast? First up, Zero Tolerance, the 0044 or the 44 or the 044. I don't know. As far as button locks go, this is just a dreamboat. We're talking like ski nautique. If we're doing boat metaphors, I spent a lot of time on the lakes growing up. It's sleek, premium materials, feels finely tuned. Okay, I don't really know anything about boats, but I do know the rich people had those. And we went on the lake. The rich assholes had the ski nautiques. We always had whatever these boats were. The fiberglass boat, right? Some weird brand. Just a boat. Now, in the interest of the graphics department, though, we don't want them getting overtime this week. We're just going to show the product pages here for the dimensions of this lightweight-ish titanium folder with extensive internal milling to keep the weight down. Now, if we're looking at the blade here, we see it is an S45 VN blade steel. I don't think I have any S45 VM blades, and if I do, I forgot about them. My memory isn't wonderful. Blade shape here, drop point, satin finish, flat grind. Action, though, is what we're talking about here. It's popping. Like, you pop it, flick, pop. You hold the button and fling, or you can use the flipper tab. And, of course, on a button lock, you just close, press the button and it closes, and a light flick back or a twist of the wrist and it drops shut. It's pretty nice. It's on bearings, so, you have to expect that. Of course, some knives that are on bearings are a little creakier. Button here has a slight springy sound when pushing. I don't know if that's like a negative or if that's a positive. It's like not quite that, parents having sex sounding, but you know what I'm saying. Flipper tab, though, is nice. It is not fatiguing to your tender finger meat to flip. So if you're an office drone like myself, flipping your knives all day, you probably can't do that in the office. You probably get sent to HR. But like I said, it's a dream, though. Now, the handle here is titanium on both sides, and it is contoured and chamfered, giving it an excellent in-hand experience all around. Sounds like a review you'd leave on a massage parlor. Pocket clip is stainless steel and deep carry. Has some advertising on there, which is good for those whose personality is heavily defined by the brand attachments. It is reversible to the right or left side in a tip-up configuration only. I have a question here. Okay, I'm sure there is one, but what knife has a tip-down only but swappable to the right or left side pocket clip? I feel like there's a Microtech that does that, right? And then there's going to be a handful of guys like, actually, for this one, tip-down is preferred. And you get into an argument with them. It'll last for days on end, and that's a few hours, a few days of your time closer to death. So congratulations on your internet argument. Comparisons. How about let's do a spoiler. Also a button lock, the new Kindred, which I'm about to do the rest of the video on here in a minute. A Kindred locking mechanism, if you will. It's a button lock as well. Oh man, it's great being a dad. If we're still on boat metaphors, this is like the John boat rocking back and forth from the wake of the ski nautique. A bunch of the rich dudes just passed you. Big girl to guy ratio. There's like 3 girls to every 1 guy in that boat. They're blasting some country music. You're out here just pulling your trot lines, and your boat's rocking back and forth. Watch out, don't fall in. Now the paramilitary 2. You know about this one. This is a classic. It's kind of like a Ranger boat, kind of expensive, but you got good credit, 6 to 8 years, you'll have that fucker paid off. You can swing it. Now the Kizer Clairvoyant, another button lock. You saw this video sometime last year. Remember, I just moved into the new house and I was freaking out about all the extra packaging I had for the knives I don't use. Yeah, those were good times. Button lock on here, also great. It's feels like on par with the Zero Tolerance, which I guess it's like be known as a less expensive knife, but you know, a good button lock is a good button lock. Now the Kershaw Kindred. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. They sent me this and the 44 at the same time. Obviously a button lock. You know, I've said that 50 times. This one runs about $72 or so at the time of writing this. We're going to do the dimensions here. We're just going to pull up the product page. I'm going to do a little cheating here because I'm trying to make these videos super short. I'm trying to waste only a little bit of your and my time. It is a D2 blade steel, lightweight aluminum handled pocket knife. A blade here, I'm repeating myself, is D2 in what is described on the website as a spear point. Now, a spear point in my head is like symmetrical, like you could hold a mirror up to half the blade and the other blade would look exactly the same. To me, it's a little spear, but kind of drop-ish point too. However, you know, I'm frequently wrong about a lot of things, so that's fine. Call it what you want. Deployment here is via thumb studs or holding the button and flinging. Now I will say the button disengagement isn't quite as smooth as on the Zero Tolerance. It is also on bearings and it is a button lock, but they feel pretty different in how they operate. It has gotten better since I've been using it a bit, so I assume a little more use will make it free floating, but definitely though Zero Tolerance is the more refined of the two. Handle here is black anodized aluminum. Very smooth, very anodized. Black anodized aluminum. Like my flashlights. No hot spots noticeable immediately when doing the trademark knife influencer squeeze. You hold it in your hand and go, well, there's a hot spot here. Let's see if there's a hot spot. I can't imagine any hot spots. Pocket clip. You guessed it. Deep carry stainless steel. It is a Kershaw Zero Tolerance. You know, that's what they do. No advertising on this one. Swappable to the right or left side. Tip up only. Like the Zero Tolerance. It's kind of a standard for the Kershaw and Zero Tolerance brands. Comparisons. Let's reuse some footage from the Zero Tolerance that I already showed you. Yeah, okay, we've seen that one. How about the Kizer Clairvoyant? You've seen this knife, but not next to the Kindred. You know, that's a slightly new shot. Very fine, very smooth button lock. Now the Spyderco the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Again, this knife shows up in almost all my comparisons because I feel like it is the reference pocket knife. It's not necessarily my favorite, but I love it, and it is what I imagine a good pocket knife. It's kind of fidgetable. It's durable. It's tough. It looks good. A lot of aftermarket support. Anyway, whatever. Nobody needs to hear me talk about that knife. We're done. In summation, though, I love the Zero Tolerance. Very addicting action. Just a fine pocket knife all around. It is great. I've run out of adjectives. It's great. It's good. It's muy bueno. Kindred's okay, and it will need some breaking in of the button lock, whereas Zero Tolerance doesn't need it. This may or not be related to my sample unit. I have not watched other videos on the Kindred for my sanity. I have barely enough time to work on my own channel. Anyway, say hi to the patrons. You can be a patron too, or you don't have to be. I'd appreciate it if you did because it helps me pay for my camera gear. You know that. I tell that in every video. Okay, so like, subscribe, comment. Thank you for watching.